One of the most fascinating parts of the southeastern Victorian coastline is Phillip Island, some 140 kilometres from Melbourne. 26 kilometres long and 9 kilometres wide, the island was discovered in 1798 and today consists of open undulating farmland with a permanent population of 6,700 that swells to over 40,000 in the summer months. It also attracts over 3.5 million local and international visitors each year, and we're going to try to find out why. The island's southern coastline confronts the pounding open seas of Bass Strait, spectacularly seen at the western end of the island. The rugged landscape converges to a sharp peninsula dominated by a huge rock formation. This sentinel is known as the Nobbies, a wind-swept headland that can be reached at low tide. An extensive boardwalk and a state-of-the-art facility offering telescopic views make it an effortless tourist experience. East of the Nobbies, and the coastline is broken by a picturesque collection of rocky outcrops pushing towards the sea. Spectacular in shape and colour, the rocks are weathered and worn in a display of timeless beauty. Volcanic rock with an almost extraterrestrial beauty that reflects the planet's fiery origins. The rock formations are known as forest's caves. Not only can you clamber over them, you can explore into them as well. Low tide exposes beautifully sculptured caverns beneath a rugged exterior. Colours and shapes constantly glistening in soft sunlight. You can almost feel the sea rushing and surging over the rocky walls as it slams into the end of the cave and explodes upward into the sunlight above. But the southern coastline of Phillip Island is not all as rugged and rough as it may seem. It's home to one of the world's famous surf beaches, Woolamai. In complete contrast to the rocks and cliffs, Woolamai Beach offers broad acres of fine sandy beach, rolling surf and open fresh air, making it an idyllic getaway. It's home to major surf carnivals, attracting surfers from all over the world. The beach is exposed to southerly winds that sweep in and produce some of the best waves on the Australian coastline. But if you're not into surfing, hey, don't worry, there's plenty to do. Fishing or just plain relaxing. It's all good fun on some of the best beach in the world. I don't think that dog's allowed on the beach, but we won't tell anyone. And I don't think he cares. Still on the island's southern coastline, and we find yet another unique site. This is Pyramid Rock. Black basalt rocks push up out of the sea and tumble back down. The result of millions of years of erosion on this ancient continent. The rock lies at the end of a wind-swept peninsula that juts out into the waters of Bass Strait and falls away to rugged and yet beautiful shorelines of black rock and white water. In contrast to the wilds of the southern coastline, the sheltered waters of Western Port Bay on the island's northern aspect offer inlets and bays ideal for the more leisurely pursuits of holiday making. Protected from the strong winds that race in from the south, this part of the coast is a perfect place to catch a wave or two. Or even try your luck at fishing. All in the warmth and tranquility of a late afternoon sun. The main township on Phillip Island is Cowes, on the north coast. Just a day trip from Melbourne, the town, founded in the 1860s and once known for its grand old guest houses, today has all the trappings of a popular holiday destination, with plenty of hotels, motels and restaurants, and more. It faces north, overlooking Western Port Bay towards the mainland. Sloping lawns provide the perfect picnic spot and open out to a shoreline of shallow beaches of fine sand, ideal for families of all ages. And like any coastal town, boating plays a big part. Cowes is no exception, with the broad waters of the bay making it the ideal playground. The focal point of the town's waterfront is the jetty, built in 1870. And that's where we're headed. It's not only the natural wonders that make Phillip Island well known, but also the wildlife. We're aboard the Wildlife Coast Cruiser, heading out to Seal Rocks, a collection of barren islands just off the western tip of Phillip Island. We're going to check out the Australian fur seal. The islands lie in the open waters of Bass Strait and are home to between 10,000 and 20,000 seals. Because the islands are a protected area, they provide a safe breeding ground and nursery. And suddenly, they're everywhere. You could get the impression that these seals are deliberately putting on a show for us. But this is the way they spend their day, diving and rolling in and out of the waves, feeding on small fish when they're hungry, or just playing around, having a good time, sometimes diving as deep as 100 meters. But history hasn't always been kind to the seal colony. In the early 1800s, they were hunted in their thousands for their skin and oil by sealers who camped on the islands and slaughtered at will. Today, however, the colony is constantly monitored electronically and by scientists who regularly visit the islands, studying the seals' behavioural patterns and diet. Many are tagged and tracked as they progress through their life cycle. The seals' health and breeding progress are controlled in a so far successful bid to build the numbers back to their original strength in a safe, natural habitat. Seals are not the only furry animals you can come across on Phillip Island. The island has long been known for its koala colony. Almost as famous as the kangaroo, these furry little marsupials today live in the island's Koala Conservation Centre. The centre provides food and protection from disease and road trauma. How's that for balance? And with its treetop boardwalk, allows tourists to get a first-hand look at them in their natural surroundings. Koalas live in societies or colonies and need contact with other koalas. But they can only exist this way if there are plenty of trees. Eucalyptus trees. Although koalas are found throughout Australia, the biggest are found in the south. These Phillip Island koalas can grow up to 90 centimetres in size and weigh up to 9 kilograms, and can live a lifespan of 17 years. They rarely drink water and are one of only 3 mammals that can survive on a diet of eucalyptus leaves. When koalas are not eating up to 500 grams of eucalyptus leaves per day, they're sleeping in the fork of a tree for up to 16 hours. When they do move around, it's generally after sunset, as they go about socializing, hopping from tree to tree, high up in the branches above. Mind you, at the Koala Conservation Centre, the koalas are not alone. This is a wallaby, one of a number frolicking around for food in its natural setting. And this is one form of wildlife you're better off leaving well alone. It's a copperhead snake, all 1.5 meters of it. One of Australia's many venomous snakes. It's one of a number of alert, active hunters that have made their home in the dry undergrowth of the Conservation Centre. Kinda glad we're up here and he's down there. The main reason why 3.5 million tourists visit Phillip Island each year is to witness at first hand an evening ritual carried out by a colony of the world's smallest penguins. We can't film them, so let me tell you. Every evening at just on dusk, after a day of fishing far out to sea, thousands of these tiny penguins, barely 30 centimeters tall, march out of the surf, cross the beach, and head for their nests in the adjacent sand dunes where they feed their young in the summer breeding season. It's a timeless ritual that survives the many hazards both on land and in the sea in the life of these small creatures. But these days, the penguins are not alone. Their popularity has ensured their protection. The colony is closely monitored by government rangers and scientists who constantly monitor their health and well-being. And this is what you're missing out on. This is something you've got to see for yourself. It's a video display of penguins on the march, giving you a close-up view of what you can see from the stadium-like viewing area just meters from the beach, and adjacent to the award-winning tourist facility that is the centre of an industry that these little guys have generated. And that's about it, gang. Once again, we've done it all.